I'm sorry to break it to you. You aired our business out. You told people who didn't need to
Who didn't even
know
tell.
our business. So we're doing
Right.
the exact same.
It's not even
Now
that.
as for the
This I think is personally
yeah.
the drama. It was drama. It's our drama to tell because it's our drama. You were involved in it as well, but
Hello everyone, and welcome to the VRChat Experience podcast. I'm your host, VideoTv. This is my co-host, Sataria.
it is a pleasure to see you all again and chat with you all.
It's been so long, guys. It's been way too long since we've seen you all, and honestly, I'm so excited to be back.
It's so nice.
However, we will not be holding any pauses because we're in era 2, everyone. We're in era 2.
You're in there too.
This is the new season.
Mm-hmm.
This is the new season. So nothing's being hidden, nothing's being, removed. Everything's gonna be live, dated, and
That's true.
spilled. The tea will be everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. But where have we been? You know what I mean? Why have we been gone for so long?
We've been gone because there was a problem with, you know how social groups are in VR, for anybody's very familiar with that. Some social problems, some problems with how we've been decided to change how things are run with Channel 9. Changing the direction of how we're going to be going with Channel 9 ever since we went to plurality recently, but we'll touch more on that later. Getting some new people onto the team as well, getting them acquainted with the situation. So yeah, there's been a few things. I'm excited to cover it all in the upcoming seconds.
In this episode, in fact, roll the trailer. No, I'm kidding. It's already been done. but honestly, thank you guys for tuning in. Obviously, we love to be able to do this podcast. It's like our favorite thing we look forward to all the time because we want to just be able to talk more to you guys directly. But we also want to be able to spill as much as possible.
One thing I'm gonna spill. We're gonna spill.
Tea drank. Spilled tea.
Always.
But let's get into the nitty-gritty.
Right.
So let's start from the basics, right? Let's start from the very beginning. We ended our podcast with 4 cast members, and we had all these people, and we ended on Christmas, and it was great holy time. Since then, everyone, we've had a lot of changes, a lot of people who left, a lot of people who made it very hard for us to do our productions, just because of communication differences and things like that. If you're watching this, I mean, slay, but it did happen. Moving on, though.
Are you talking about people who caused problems?
I mean, we can. This is era 2.
I mean, to those who caused the problems, all you did was put a short pause on everything. We back with Reinvented, baby, but y'all tried it. Period. However,
yeah, you did try.
You did try. You thought you ate,
and I applaud you for your your attempts because you did try.
It's giving kitchen nightmares.
But we are VideoTv and Sataria. Right. Sorry.
I'm so sorry.
We don't exactly go down very easily.
No.
But yeah, they did try it. People were desperately trying to remove our stature here in Channel 9.
Right, that which is very unfortunate on their behalf.
Obviously, on their behalf, truly, it was mostly just obviously things where people were just honestly flat out misunderstandings. That's like the best way we can summarize it all, because at the end of the day, that's all it was. It was misunderstandings, and they took it way too far. But now, honestly, the bad apples have been removed, and we can get into the good stuff, which is we have way more staff than we used to. We have actual schedules, planning. We're really moving into big business here at Channel 9. And then with us two, we're able to do a lot more now because we're interviewing the femboys. We just did Plurality.
If you want
to touch up on that, you can.
We will. But before we touch on that, let's talk about because I know you have everything speaking out because you've been talking to our good friend Zai. Do you want to speak a little bit about what's planned a little bit in the upcoming future? about Channel 9? Since I know you have a grand vision.
Oh goodness, yeah, the grand vision. Okay, well then we'll start with that, and then we'll go into how we got here, right? So the grand vision, guys. We as I've said in previous episodes, if you were tuning in before everything got wiped, the grand vision for Channel 9 is we are now going to be becoming the VRChat TV network. We want to be able to showcase and broadcast all types of communities and subcultures, and just show off the creativity of VR through VRChat within VRChat. And how we want to be able to interview lots of people, have them come on our podcast and talk about their own personal, like what they do and what we do with them and all that types of stuff, and have that be what we do. And that is the new vision. That is the clearest and the only vision for Channel 9 now. And specifically for our podcast, we want our podcast to just basically be a place where we can act how we usually do with just me and Sataria, and show it off to you guys that like we are our own people. He is my co-host, and when he's not on camera for Channel 9, we are like this, and we're
just more family friendly when the cameras are rolling is all. We're just more family friendly.
When we're on this podcast, when you're listening to audio.
Right. Catch me at an event.
I don't know about all that.
Catch me at an event.
Catch me at an event. Hands crossed, like, hey guys, how are you? I'm so happy to see you
on here. On the podcast. All y'all can get
you faggot, you slur.
Don't piss me off right now. You know who I'm talking about. And if y'all all feel called out, good. But
good.
Oh my goodness. Let's quickly talk a little bit about virality. Real quick, for those who don't know what virality is, virality is, which I wouldn't say is too small to say so far, the biggest event in VR, given like the scale of which everything was done and what they
I would argue.
Virality is a combination of fur and virtual reality, where they usually the furry community creates this grand event, and then they invite any and everyone to come in, and they will raise money for a specific what's a good word for a specific
a charity organization, things like that.
Organization. This year it was for the Trevor Project.
It was for the Colorado. It was for gay people. It was from some in Colorado.
It was the gays.
You know what? We'll put it right here on the video.
Right,
it's right here. Somewhere right there.
And they ended up raising, I think it rounded up to $47,000. What is impressive for to do something in VR when VR isn't technically very mainstream, since they don't have any advertisements, as far as I'm aware of. Just people who play the game, and they've grown it to that size that they were able to raise $47,000 for this organization. And then just the worlds that were made, the events that were held, the music that was there, the avatars that were created, the assets that were given to people, just the sheer size of virality was just so shocking. As somebody who isn't a furry myself, but you see furry throughout VRChat, they make up a large population. But to go to an event that is organized by said people, and then to watch their think of a vision and then put it into play, and then do it on such a magnificent scale. It's wild.
Yeah, it's crazy, and it really inspired me, and I think both of us, to want to be able to well, obviously I want to be able to obtain something like that, flat out. But I think mostly just for us, we want to be able to have that kind of show and run that kind of thing.
I want to get it
of that scale. Of that scale. It was insane, but let's get into how we did that. I mean, to our good friend Zyhex. Hi, Pookie.
Mwah.
Hi. Zai invited us to go to the convention. We went, honestly, it was initially just for fun, but I decided, you know what, if we're gonna do this, let's do it. So we decided to go, and we had interviews. We interviewed all kinds of people. And we're coming out with a video pretty soon about virality and furries in general. It is a very long. I've timed it out. It's an hour and 25 minutes. It's a very long video. It's an entire documentary going over my experience, our experience. Eventually, I got to do our interview soon. So, by the way, guys, this is coming out Saturday. What's today? June 15th. Just so everyone knows. So whenever this is posted, We haven't done like many of the editing and stuff and all the interviews, but like we're very excited for this video because we managed to get to virality, have a lot of fun, a lot of fun, interview a lot of people, talk to a lot of people and stuff like that, and it was really cool just to see like how VR chat is like used in that kind of way, because I would have never expected it. Truly. Not
Truly
from what
not.
we experience in VR chat, which is just basically just a black cat and like femboys. So it's like
The
to
black
see it
cat,
on
the
a scale.
dancing, but to see something worth
Yeah.
looking at, basically, to word it in that
Yes.
way. Amazing.
Yeah. That's making a profit, that's helping other people, that's like has a huge following. Like it's crazy that VR chat is able to host something like that. And it's working. Like it's not like it's like a little get together. It's like an actual thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so we did that. We came back and we were like, wow, that's crazy. We need to get going because like we just did all those interviews. We have a lot to cover. And so we did. And now we're kind of in this really good era. We're getting our productions back up. We're doing this now. But we were going to talk about something before I went on this tangent about virality. Uh, the the level of like, I do want to touch upon this. Like the level of commitment it probably takes to do virality is crazy. I imagine. Like in upper management, I bet you it is a lighthouse in there. Like I bet you it is just insane.
I don't think so. I think because what this is Ferrari's fourth, fifth time doing this so far. I truly think that at this point in time, there is a level of trust between people that once an idea is like kind of put together, the certain people who have their certain like parts to play, I feel like to them, I feel like from the outside looking in, I feel like it seems very much, yo, there's barely little thing we're struggling ever, but from I feel like they're to a point where it's like we're gonna be doing this, we're gonna be doing this. Once we get done with our ideas, we'll come together and we'll edit and we'll go apart from there. Because just the sheer because the only problems we had, what that for quote unquote virality had, was like the website itself having problems, and then VRChat doing an update
Mm-hmm.
right in the middle of the event. But besides that, there was not a
Mm-hmm.
flaw from the event. Besides that, you know what I'm saying? Like the amount of time they probably had to test run assets, I assume, test run the worlds, test run, the whoever running the Twitch. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure some of these
Oh
had to go
yeah.
on over and over and over. But from what we've seen, right, our only thing was not, I wonder how this is gonna work. How it's gonna work. We're like, how it's gonna work, and then it works. I'm like, okay, it's not how this is gonna work. Oh, what happened? We're like, this is gonna work like this. We're being
Yeah.
told what's gonna happen. We go through it fully trusting and trust well placed. It's amazing.
And also, I imagine that it's probably because of like the amount of time they've been doing it, and also because of the sheer amount of people that are on the Ferrari team. Like the
Oh,
amount of people is crazy. It's like what, like 20, 24, 25, like 200 to 245 staff members. Like that's wow. But I imagine that plus the people trusting each other, like I imagine it's just very easy to be like, hey, we need to get this done, go do it, because they have like teams divided into teams divided into teams. So it's like they have 1,000 hands for 1,000 things. So I'm sure that helps a lot being able to do the scale that they do it. But going on from that, right? I think it's also really important to discuss that like we went into this. Honestly, I went into going into virality, or not even just like virality, but just like the whole like section of time before, like after we ended the podcast to now. I was like, VR chat's so boring. Like this is probably like anything that we haven't done is like lame. Like everything sucks right now. And I think like from the time we had the drama to like leading up to like starting to plan stuff, and virality happens, that we actually have plans that are actually happening. Like that whole segue has been like really good. It's been really, really good. Minus, the drama. Fuck you. But um but minus the drama, everything else was like awesome. It's been really cool that like we've been able to get like this slow progression. Obviously, like for my staff that's watching this, I'm so sorry because I don't know what I'm doing yet. I'm still getting to learn like this whole thing of running a community that's like going to be as I want it to be as big as things like Virality or even like the VCAT marketplace that happens every year for in VR chat.
the what?
Um, the VCat Marketplace, that anime market thing that happens in VR chat all the time.
I've never heard of this.
You never see that on your Worlds page sometimes? It says like VCat Market, it's some or something like that.
Girl,
And
I
it
don't
says
be
like, it's
reading
like a
nothing. What'd they do?
moving on, girl. Moving on. You're like, huh? Who? Where?
Girl.
What
This is why we need
happened?
to interview more people because I don't know what you're talking about right now. That sounds fun to interview though.
Maybe when VCat happens, we could interview people at
Oh yeah,
VCat.
most definitely.
When the market happens, we can probably like search around and see
Oh
who's actually shopping,
yeah,
who's
we would
not, and who's just like
have
looking at
to
stuff.
because, like I said, we're trying to give, you know, I guess like we want to give clout to the small communities in VR chat or the cultures that make up those communities, but at the same time, since VR chat itself just seems to attract attention randomly, because like I said, there's no marketing for VR chat. So even though virality is this big thing, there are so many people in VR chat, given the large scale that it is, don't know about virality. That's really like so confused about because we were talking to Ty. Hi Ty. Ty was talking about going to virality. And I know somebody else in the host club named Pocky wants to go to virality. I think Switchy wants to go as well. So I plan on like going with them next year. Because like I just think it's such a missed opportunity to not go, especially when you've never been before. Because like I can't explain virality on like how I enjoyed it. Virality felt like getting back into VR chat like in the beginning, not like in the very beginning when everything is what's going on, but like in the beginning was like, okay, I know what I'm doing, but like this is still new to me. That's what virality felt like. It was such an enjoyable experience. It felt fresh. It felt different. You had things to expect, but not knowing what to see. That type of feeling. You know what I'm saying? Like I expect to go to VR chat. I expect to meet people. I expect to go into worlds, obviously. But doing that, it was like, okay, what am I going to see? Who am I going to meet? Which is very like, okay, I'm in VR chat. I'm gonna meet these people. I'm gonna go to these worlds, which can be fun, especially if you enjoy doing that thing. But to just that shock and awe when you're going to do these things and meeting these people and they have these type of personalities and also going to virality, I'm going to get good vibes. Like I don't no tea no shade to some of y'all, but y'all can say whatever y'all want about the furries. When this is like the virality felt very much like going to like being queer and going to like a gay club. I know everyone here is part of this lifestyle.
It felt like going to an
experiences.
actual convention.
Right. It felt safe. It felt fun. It felt fresh. It was I can't express the fun I had at virality enough. I really cannot.
If honestly, if I can put it into words, it felt like it didn't feel like VR chat was how YouTube media puts it. Because I think everyone on YouTube, that's why I don't want to do what YouTube does, has the same like VR chat funny moments, going to the Black Hat all the time. There's a VR chat predator every 5 seconds. Like that's usually what gets put on VR chat. But you don't see things like virality happen as often because of that, in my opinion. But also just because like virality was such, as you said, it's such a fresh experience because it's completely new. It's like a completely new thing I've never seen done before
It's only like
in
what 4 years
virtual
now.
reality. Yeah, like well, I've been on VR chat for 3 years now. I got on in 2021. So playing VR chat for 3 years and being a Quest player and only being able to have access to certain things, certain worlds, and certain things, visuals, etc. Like for me to get into virality and like see all this stuff and all this long history it's had for so long, and like its roots to its end, like for this recent one for Virality Umbra, is crazy to me because it's like how do people, how can you, in my opinion, right, how can you hate furries and or hate on a community like this when they're able to do this at this scale efficiently, but you're so focused on the fact that they're furries? Like, grow up. Grow up. You're into
It's
like
so
butt
childish.
stuff,
It's
weirdo.
so childish.
Like,
They're like, don't be gay and like not furries. Be so for real. Don't be gay and don't like furries. Don't piss me off right now because you know people
don't
don't
be
like you
gay
for the
or white
same.
and not like furries because you're lame.
You're lame. You're
You're
boring.
lame.
You
You can't sit here and be like, oh, the furries are gross. You're literally a faggot. I hate to break it to you.
Don't be a bottom.
Like,
What's going on here?
oh, and don't be a bottom.
Don't do
and
that.
Don't do that.
It's interesting. I truly don't think that. I think the problem is that furry hate is just so common and normalized because to speak on what I've done. When I first met Zai, I made the joke of saying, I don't like furries, but you're one of the good ones. Never having I don't have Twitter, right? So I've never had a bad experience with furries. I don't know the history of furries. I was like, oh, they make these cute art and they be all have great jobs and they make these really nice costumes. That's the only thing I've had at furries, right? And back then I wasn't really hanging out with them consistently. So Zai, you know that I'm for those that one that sounds like let's go. You know that sound? So I was like, that's what it felt like.
Yeah.
That's what furries feel. But I'm like, furry hate is just so normalized because when you are a part of certain communities, right, you usually just tend to bully people in that community. For example, I'm gonna say whatever slurs I want as a queer black individual because I can. Who gonna check me for real? But hating on furries is just more like a silly, goofy thing. But I've never thought about the fact that, you know, Zai deals with this on a numerous basis and people genuinely don't like Zai because of that. And I'm like, that's so, I guess it's for me, it's just such a weird thing to be like, just that's like an actual thing, because doing it when you're like, not like somebody because they're black, or it's not because they're gay, or things they cannot control. But you can control being a furry, right? But at the same time, you enjoy being a part of this community, so you decided, you know, to stand 10 toes down and part of that, which is you're real for that.
Even if that's the case, right? Because obviously there's like code switching, right? And I think that that's something that queer people, black people, and furries can like all understand. Because you don't have to display the traits of you being gay to everyone. You don't have to display those things. But I want to present the way I want to present because that's who I am.
Right.
That's what I think being a furry is like. Because in their innermost soul, they are their character. Like that's who they are. And if they want to display in that kind of way, they should be allowed to. And honestly, I don't understand how VRChat people can hate on furries at all.
Oh,
all of us
my
are wearing
God,
an avatar.
you're in here. And you are not the 10-foot e-boy you're displaying. I'm so sorry to tell you. I'm so. But you want to hit on furries?
It's so. But you want to hit on furries? Of all the people.
Girl, your body does not look that tea. Don't piss. But you want to hit on furries?
Because.
Christ, you clown.
Because I will never understand. Because actually, it kind of ties into like everything we done dealt with like this past like fucking 6 months, forever, however long it's been. Like to hate on anyone because of things they can't control or don't know is ridiculous in my opinion, especially as VRChat players. That's ridiculous. Like we are all in this game together. All of us are either running from something or trying to display something. One or the other. So if you're gonna sit here and be like, oh, I hate furries, I hate this, I hate these people, I hate you because you do this, whatever, and then you're just like ignorant to everything that's about them, is so dumb. It's dumb. You're dumb for that.
It's literally
and I don't
so
understand
childish. Like, how are you gonna sit right here and anybody who does not like furries cannot give me a good reason? Because for any reason you don't like furries, I can give you 2 for any community you're a part of. First of all, if you're white, you strike. If you're straight, strike. Because if you're like white and straight in VRChat, you're already the minority. I'm so sorry to tell you, that's just the facts. So please don't be coming in here and hating on furries, because you will get jumped by everyone in here. But don't be gay and then just say you don't like furries, because first of all,
speaking of, it's so off topic. But did you know that they had a straight furries meetup and they got hate for it? Ferality had a straight furs meetup, and then Ferality got hate for that on Twitter. And I'm like,
I don't know how I feel about straight furry meetup. I don't know how I feel about that.
Well, okay, so think of it this way, right? Okay. Most furries are queer.
Right.
Most of them. And so when you're looking at like an all inclusive, that means everyone needs to be included.
That's true.
When the minority group is straight furries, there needs to be something for them to like meet up in, because most of the furry fandom is queer in some kind of capacity.
At the same time, if you are saying you're a straight furry, the stigmatism you're going to face is that you're a furry. Your sexuality does not play here, because you're not going to face any stigmatism, because you might face stigmatism maybe a little bit from random people, but rather not the furry community. Because I guess there's like, I don't know. It's just weird for you to be like, well, I'm a straight furry and people expect me not to be straight, and that's weird. But people tell me I'm straight and I get hate for it. but it's more
Well, I
like
think honestly, it's because they had the gay meetup, lesbian meetup, non-binary, asexual, things like that. They had the sexuality meetups, and so they're like, well, we had to tack on straight people as well because we don't want to leave anyone out.
okay, yeah, if
Um,
that's their reasoning, that makes sense. But like like oh, the straight people want to be included. Like, I mean, I guess you know what I'm
well,
saying.
that's in real life and in outside of furry fandoms because I think that like that whole energy of like, well, how come there's a Pride Month but there's no straight month? Like that mentality
Yeah,
that exists, I think, in most guys who don't interact with a lot of gay people.
yeah, yeah.
But
It's
most straight furries probably are around a lot of gay people because they're
right.
furries.
But at the same time, how
So I think they know
competent?
better.
I'm saying, so how competent? Who asked for the straight? Was this considered because we want it to be inclusive, and the people found out, oh, there's a straight furry meetup. I'm straight. I guess I'll go to that. Or was this because I feel like if there was not a straight one, no one would have been like, well, where was the straight? There would have been like 2, 3 people who were like that. I don't think it was necessary. I can understand them making it because of inclusivity, because it is the furality. But at the same time, you're not facing any stigmatism because you're straight. You're facing stigmatism because people thought you weren't straight, but because you're a furry. But like, get into it, I
Well,
guess.
I mean, you kind of do. Like in these newer times, I think like this new era of life. There's a lot of like there's a lot of hate that goes out towards like straight white people.
Hmm.
Just because of the history they have and like we all can't sit here and not understand that like there's a very long history of straight white people being a very obvious problem, and then obviously continue
Right.
into newer ages they continue to be the problem.
Right.
But I think that they still get a lot more hate than they should, um because it's not everyone, just like not every black person is ghetto, just like not every gay person's a whore, just not every woman's a bitch. Like there's well but anyways, there's a lot of there's a lot of there's a lot of like hate that goes out to them, and like I kind of feel bad in a way because like I never want to be the person that like makes anyone feel like they are less than, because I don't want to feel like that, right? So I would never I'm gonna make the jokes because the jokes are funny
Hmm.
and anyone can make a joke about anything because that's how comedy works. If comedy's not offensive, then it's not comedy. But
Well, that's a good.
I still think I still think that if you're going to have something like virality or even the meetups in general, and you're going to include sexualities, you should include all of them. Because to exclude a group would be the same thing that they would do that they would have done to us that was years ago.
Yeah, but the difference is, it's not. I don't really see it as It's not really that it's excluding you. But my thing is that it's to me, it's the saying, if we exclude you, what do you lose here? You know what I'm saying? Because the fact that to not put in a straight meetup, I don't think it would have been a lot of noise made because it's not necessary. When you make up a predominant thing and you feel comfortable everywhere you are, but these specific people do not, I don't find it really necessary for you to have something specific. Because, like you said earlier, you were
But
saying that some straight people, you're saying
yeah,
like, how there's like too much hate going out to straight people. At the end of the day, the only thing you're getting mad about is jokes because you're not worried about anything else. If you're gonna sit over here and tell me you're upset about a joke while black, queer, whatever people are facing real problems, please hop out my face. Like, no tea, no shade. But like, you're mad about jokes. You're mad because I'm clowning you right now. But me as a black queer man, I can't
I
walk down the street
think
without presenting myself in a certain way because I have the code
I
switch.
agree. I agree in that sense. If it's talking about like, well, then that's making the argument that like being straight is normal and then being gay is different.
It's not that
That's making
it's
that argument.
stigmatized. That's the problem. Like, I can't be this way because of what hetero society has deemed it as. Because I have the code switch. If I don't, I put myself in danger. You don't have the code switch because you don't understand, know, or feel these fears. Not, and it's not
But
your
that's in real
fault.
life.
I'm
Like I
saying
think
it's not
in
their
VR
fault, but it
chat,
is what it
it's a
is.
lot. It's a bit of a it is what it is. But that's more so in real life. I think in VR chat, because of the culture that exists around VR chat and how
Mm,
like openly, extremely openly queer to the point where it's kind of bad. It is.
right.
Um, like I think being straight is a minority, and there's not necessarily anything wrong with being straight. Like just like there's nothing wrong with being gay, but
Right. Straight is
the
minority in
fact
here.
that the fact that being straight is a minority in here those people are excluded, berated, and obviously nothing's gonna happen to them. Like nothing's gonna happen to us. People can call me a slur in the black cat every other day. Nothing's gonna happen to me. I'm gonna go to sleep the same way I go to sleep every single night. But it still is going to be annoying because those straight people are going to be berated and shamed or whatever, not be allowed to certain events, not be allowed to certain groups, not to be allowed in certain areas because of their straightness, just because they like women. And that's like, or they're like men, alternatively, because girls are affected by it too. Like it's not fair. And as much as I agree with you in real life, I can agree with you in VR chat. In real life, absolutely. Because I think the most of the stigmatism comes from like the Pride Month example is huge, especially because it is Pride Month, right? I lie.
I lie.
The Pride Month thing is a huge example because I think a lot of straight people have this like stigmatism of like, oh, how come all the gays get all the attention, but the straight people have to suffer? And it's like, well, you're not suffering. You get to go into a Walmart and act exactly as you used to at any point. But if I walk into a Walmart and I sway my hips a little bit, I can get shot in that Walmart. So who's really suffering here? But in VR chat, when everyone's gay, or if you're not gay, you're some kind of gay, and then you have a straight person who just wants to exist and play the game, they get stigmatized. And so I think a straight furries meetup is fantastic because of the community that they're in for furries. A lot of furries are queer, or they're openly some type of something. So having a straight furries meetup, I think, is very important because it gives them a sense of like, well, we're all in VR chat, we're all here. But I want to talk to other people who understand me, even if I am straight. I want to talk to people who understand me and not talk to people who don't understand me. Because I will never, even though I love you, Miles, right? My best friend Miles, I will never understand Miles because I don't like women. So his I don't want to say obsession, but his love for women is not something I can understand. Now then, if we're talking about the obsession with men, different story. But I like men. He likes women. So it's a whole different thing. That's why I think that a meetup, even if it's like not even a meetup, but just like a section of time that is dedicated to have straight people be comfortable in their own space, is good. Because I think everyone should be comfortable in their own space.
Yeah, I think that's very fair. Because there's also the fact that I love us down, but the queer people can be a bit much, and I don't think. And let me say something: queer people, we love to give cunt, and straight people don't really do that all the time. And let me say something: giving cunt is tiring. It's not for the weak of heart. And I can understand being around the energy can be tiring. Y'all need a break. Y'all need a break from them. You know what? I need a break from them. I will be popping around.
Well, honestly, not all gay people can give cunt. That's a conversation for another episode. Because not all gay people are gay, in my opinion.
The Fanboy Host Club, we'll be chatting with y'all about that. Anyways.
Yeah, you've been warned. Scrolling up like...
Sliding in.
So we were talking to you on our podcast, by the way.
Yeah, y'all can't give cunt blocked. But
left the server.
Leave server. But yeah, I'm saying is
I
reality
think
is perfect in my opinion.
It's perfect. It's an absolutely perfect event. But yeah, I mean, I think it's just very important I think it's honestly very important because I want to do this as well, to give everyone a place to shine, even if you are like in real life considered normal, right? Straight white people, they're a great example for just us too, because we're both queer Black men from the South, so we are easily targeted, easily harassed, because that's just who we are. It's just because of the places we live in. So I think that giving anyone on VR chat the space to kind of exist and just be themselves and have a place to shine is important. And Shrouded does that very well.
Very well.
And we would do that too. Now, moving into the I don't know how to per se this, but like the other stuff. How do I put this? Not drama. It's not drama anymore.
The events.
But like did I talk about the events? I want to talk about drama.
Oh no, that's about drama. I'm like those events. They're events.
Not good ones. Yeah, the events. Girl.
You wanna do it or you wanna do it?
I can have a whole episode about this.
So Rachel, you big fat nasty. I'm joking. But for those who aren't familiar, we haven't been too shy to say names before. I don't think we have, at least. And if we have been too shy to say names, it's for y'all to understand that I've never been shy. So who used to be here? So as y'all recognize, Scarlex is no longer with us. Scar ended up having some medical conditions, which I was not privy to because I'm not the type to reach out, which I am working on. But I'm always quick to indulge in any conversation once someone does jump out to me. But Scar was having some medical problems, and Video ended up speaking. I think you spoke to Scar about that a little bit, and Scar ended up talking about stepping down because of all that. So Scar no longer with. We love Scar down though. Mwah. Speaking of straight furries, then there was what was that? Ren.
Oh, Miss Ren.
Hi. So Ren ended up.
Yeah, doubt she's watching this, but if she is,
I feel like she might. But it's neither there. Ren ended up causing a commotion and leaving the server on the time we were supposed to really start back up events because of Ren's relationship was causing problems for people around them. And they decided to deal with it in a inappropriate way. We, being the people that, they were working with, were like, hey, Ren, we need to talk about this because Ren was talking to a friend of mine named Lynn. Now, just say what it is, Ren and Lynn were both problematic in their relationship. And, I had to scold both of them. Ren didn't like me scolding them, and she did. Period.
Well, it was a girl was way more than that. It was Nick and Kylo, all that stuff.
I gotta get some individually. Then there was Kylo. Kylo I expected better from. Kylo ended up getting roped in because Kylo was closer to Ren, and ended up getting roped into the whole scenario and left with Ren on the same time we were supposed to do a restart of events.
Begin everything.
And that's because Kylo had someone named Nick in his ear. Now let it be known. Let me get the tea. Let me get the tea real quick. Nick still has me friended on VRChat, which I didn't realize.
Does
recently.
He? That's surprising. I
think Nick blocked me but didn't unfriend me. Because after you block somebody, they don't lose their friendship status. I think Ren did that.
Oh.
Now let it be known. At no point in time did I ever have. I did not like some of Nick's behaviors, but that's anybody, right? And Nick's behaviors were discussed because we run the server. By the way, I don't know if you know this, Nick, Kylo was also discussing behaviors and how problematic they were and how you haven't changed. But I don't know if I told you that. Clock that T. But
yep.
We discussed everything and problems with Nick. Nick decided to get especially upset because I unfriended Nick. Now, by the way, when I say I unfriended Nick, I mean seconds later, Nick came into my DM. Seconds later and was like, oh, so you unfriended me, so you must have talked to Lynn. Didn't even give me a chance to respond, blocked me. What was crazy to me was that Nick was like, oh, you must have blocked me because you were talking to Lynn. I didn't block or unfriend Kylo, Ren, or Scar. But because you were so short-tempered and quick to react, you didn't even think about all that. Clock that T. The real reason I unfriended Nick was being a bit much. Nick decided to come into my DM to say you can tell Video and his best friend to go kill themselves. Now, me personally, I know some people like to be like, not my circus, not my monkeys. But let me tell you this, y'all all have bestie. You know how you have that bestie in your life. If somebody came to you and said, yeah, your bestie can go kill themselves, how would you react? Exactly. Thought so.
I have no issues with the kill yourself humor because it's internet humor. You know what I mean? It's not a huge deal. But I do have an issue when you say it and it comes from people who can mean it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It is perfectly fine to have your humor style. If it's fucked up, it's fucked up because whatever. Someone's gonna find it funny. But not everything's a joke. Not everything's funny. Some things aren't funny. Sorry to break it to you. And that was not a joke. Like what you said, it was really hurtful because it's from Nick, who's really getting hurt by Nick at this point. It's not that it was hurtful, it was extremely shocking. And it's like, okay, this has to be dealt with, or else we're gonna be sitting here forever. And so it was. And so around that time, that's also when we decided to go ahead and ban Nick from the server like permanently. And this is when more problems arise. This is around the time that we were starting to receive DMs from Len because of something that happened in staff chat, which, how did it leave our staff chat, by the way? You know what I mean? Turns out, confirmed, either it was Len or Ren or Kylo, but they were sending our staff chat messages to Nick, which is wild, by the way. But then that's part of the issue. Then we eventually decided to like talk to Kylo and like, hey, you're like around Nick and that makes us uncomfortable. Are you aware that like it's making us uncomfortable, or do you just not care? He basically said, not my circus, not my monkeys.
Right.
Which we have no issues with, because honestly, like Sataria is a good example. I didn't like Sataria's ex-boyfriend because we had beef. Was I gonna hurt Sataria because he was still dating that person? No, because that's not my business. I don't like him. He don't like me. But am I gonna sit here and take the liberation? No. Regardless, though, that's a perfect example. Sataria can have all his friends he wants. Am I gonna get mad because he has our friends because I don't like them? We have beef? No, that's fine. But I need you to understand do you understand what's happening here though? Like, are you fully aware of like you're around them and they're doing this? Do you understand that that's happening, and how are you okay with it? That's all that really was at the end of the day, right? And then Kylo proceeds to tell us that we're interrogating him, which
right.
It was never an interrogation.
No, it wasn't interrogation. It was weird. We wanted to know why. Well, that's not interrogation.
Well, I guess so.
That's not
interrogation. Because an interrogation would be like if we were like, we need answers because we need to know the truth. It's more so like I'm asking you questions because I want to hear your answers, but mostly I want you to understand. I'm just trying to have a conversation with you at the end of the day. I want you to understand how I feel. And if you don't care how I feel, why are you my staff? Because then we're just then what do we actually, not to mention the thousands of times I've asked those two to actually do things on their own time and they never did it. So, you know, that's its own can of worms we had to open with staff. But they were unreliable, and then they did that shit. And then I think at some point it just kept boiling and boiling and boiling. We were already like, okay, Rin needs to go because she's emotional and she's like too busy with college. So we were all gonna get rid of Rin. And then Kylo was like, oh, well, I'm gonna talk to Rin, and they got together. It was just a lot of drama with that. And then they eventually just boiled over and they just left. Just gone. Removed everyone. And then I'm pretty sure, didn't she come back to talk to you in that one world?
She did. We chatted a little bit. I was like, so what's the vibe? What's the energy? Apparently more people are mad at Nick, so clock that T, Nick. If you want to go, if you see this, you want to discuss that with them. Kylo and Ren are still dating.
I can't really flock them for that because I'd rather her date Kylo than date Len, to be honest.
No, that's very fair. I think Kylo is more stable. I don't know. I don't know. It's just, not to speak on their relationship, but to speak on their relationship, I just fear I think Kylo was a fantastically stable person who was able to really talk people through things. So I just hope
and then to get rid of us all because you can't handle a conversation, Rin, is stupid in my opinion. To block us all is because you couldn't tell us like, hey, I'm gonna not be around you guys for a while.
Rin didn't block us.
Your point is?
You know, that's fair. Even though Rin didn't block us, Rin obviously didn't stop anything from happening as well. And you were like the center of what was happening. So you obviously didn't say, you didn't put your foot down. Which means you giving Rin energy. Rin was like, do whatever you think is best or do whatever you want. No tea, no shade, Rin. That's what you be doing. So Kylo was the leader of the server. So he probably said, I'm gonna do this. And you're like, okay, sure, whatever you want. It's not my decision. And then when Kylo said, I'm gonna block
whatever you say, Pookie.
You want literally monkeys. And it's yes,
sir, master.
I can't sit right here and say that because I don't get upset really. I don't hate any of them. It's just that for that situation to have gone down when no tea, no shade, we didn't deserve that. It's as simple as that. We did not deserve that. That reaction of us getting blocked and removed from multiple people because like tea and shade, you and Lynn were both problems. Like, it is what it is. And like I said, I scolded Lynn. I had to scold you when I was talking to you as well. Like, y'all were both problems. And now people are upset with Lynn for some reason, for whatever is being said on y'all's side. It's kind of weird. Not to mention, still discussing Lala. Oh, because can I talk about that real quick? Can I talk about?
They still talk about Lala?
No, and to
this day.
No, because let me tell you the tea. Y'all can listen in. Lynn, Lala, and Rin were really close, right, at one point. And Lala and Rin were flirting in DMs. Then they got into VRChat and flirted in VRChat. But here's the thing: Lynn and Rin were both complimented with that because Lala was that close with them. Lynn came in. Lala started flirting with Lynn as well. Then Rin got real like shut down, and so Lala like, this is getting weird. You're not getting responsive for what I'm doing, so I'm just stop. Now,
yeah, okay.
There's an impression that Lala was like trying to flirt with Rin or like trying to flirt with Lynn some way, and then Rin didn't want it at all. And Lala was like, I literally have screenshots of our DMs on the night that had happened. So what are you talking about? You didn't want that. So why is my main? Why is my,
make up your mind?
Lola does not like it when people talk behind her back. That's why Lola don't like Exa, because you know Exa like to talk.
Well,
Exa
girl,
like to talk.
I mean, but Lola loves to talk as well. So how can you hate something that you
Lola talks about events that happened, but she will make sure to bring receipts. Lola's not gonna make up a whole scenario and be like, yeah, this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened, and then be wrong. Lola gonna come up with receipts. Or what Lola will do, Lola will hop into somebody's DMs to get confirmation. But to blatantly lie? Girl.
I mean, I hear you, but also at the same time, I think if you're gonna talk shit about someone, even if you have receipts, and then get upset when someone else talks shit about you, even if they don't have receipts or whatever, like whatever the situation is, you're still getting your karma. I hate to break it to you. Like I don't talk shit if I don't plan to say it to your face, because I will absolutely say it to your face.
But Lola won't. You're right. Lola not even sugarcoats things. Lola just isn't direct. Lola doesn't say how she feels. She acts how she feels. That's what it is.
Ew, exactly. No, never that. I act and say. You will know how I feel about you. I will tell it to your face. That's why I'm comfortable with airing this, because I don't care anymore. You know, you aired out our business, so we have more than enough pleasure to air out yours. So
it is what it is. First of all, you know what we do on this podcast. So you came into this area, caused problems, and thought we weren't going to talk about it. Like I said, I don't hate anybody. I would never. I don't hate anybody. You know, I'm peace and love always. However, it happened. It's my drama. I can talk about my drama how I want to talk about my drama. And that's the tea. And apparently Nick was in Kylo's ear encouraging him to like block us.
Really? That's embarrassing. Kylo, that's embarrassing for you. I'm sorry to break it to you. Kylo. That's really embarrassing for you.
Nick.
Like I'm sorry to break that to you. That's actually embarrassing for you. Because we were literally just talking about how Nick is like really, really emotionally like unintelligent, and you're like, well, we were all worried for the kid, like for a bit.
All three of us.
He's very concerned.
All three of us.
Yeah, we were all very concerned for him. Obviously, I'm not going to sit here and act like I wasn't like a perpetrator, because I did intentionally acting kind of shitty because I was mad. But then I apologized, and I was trying to be an adult about it. I got us into our own DMs. I was like, hey, me and Sataria are here. I want to talk about this in an adult manner and get a conclusion. That way we can get over this and we can move on. And he said, haha. He said, like something really childish. I don't remember specifically what it was. But like, to have that entire thing, you know, the entire thing, and you still were like, I'm gonna listen to Nick.
Clown behavior. Clown behavior.
I think honestly, at the end of the day, it probably comes from like when you feel like you're being betrayed once, you just immediately assume like the entire situation hates you, right? Because I think whenever we went into like to ask Kyla like, hey, what's up? I think that was like a telltale sign, like, oh, well, they must not like me anymore, so let's just go ahead and get rid of them. This is going to be a constant problem. We've never done that before. I don't think we have never like witch hunted anyone. We ask a question, we get an answer. Once we have our answer, we make a decision and we move on. Because there's never a reason to continue a problem if it's solved. If we know what's going on, then we know what's going on. We have a solution. So why would we continue to ask you questions once we have our answer? There is no reason to ask any more questions. So you just were mad. And that's okay to be mad. It's okay to be mad. But don't ruin my entire server just because you're mad. At least find me a replacement.
At least I'm not gonna leave. Don't just leave right before we start stuff. You know, like
right, what? Literally the day of. Are you kidding me?
The day of.
Moving on from drama, but yeah, everyone, that's how this podcast is gonna go. By the way, we do not plan to sugarcoat. We're gonna ask all the questions, even if they're weird. We are gonna get we're gonna get what we want because this is our podcast. We say what we want on it. Now will some names be censored? Yes, of course, because we can't say everything. Will it be on Patreon? Yes, of course it will.
Period.
That'll be an answer for later, of course. But moving on. Goodness, we're actually here. This is so crazy. We haven't had a conversation like this in so long.
We haven't had a conversation like this in so long. I've missed you.
I missed you too. Faggot.
Niggas, bro. Anyways, oh my god, let's talk about some Channel 9 stuff, about some events we plan on doing. Let's talk about those.
Oh yes, okay. So moving on from all the drama. And now honestly, after all that happened, we took our time, right? We took our time to kind of like recuperate. I took my time to like understand what I wanted to do. I took some classes. I like understood like, okay, I need to do this, need to do that. I need to get really good at this, yada yada yada. I got booked and busy. Then Ferality happened. We went to that. It was an amazing time, and now we're in this new era where I'm really starting to get really good at being a boss, honestly, and Sataria is getting really good at being an event host. So that we can both do our jobs diligently. Now for events, our hugest thing we want to be able to do is the spotlight. We want to be able to host an event like Ferality that's a weekend or 1 day long, whatever. But it is a event where we can invite as many groups as we can possibly get. But to come to our event and show off what they do, kind of like a convention. That way they can show like, hey, we do this, we do that. These are the groups that we have, and even get creators, popular or unpopular, to talk about what their experience is in VRChat on live interviews. That way we can really, really actually show what VRChat is about, minus what gets published to YouTube. Because I realized most of the time when you're looking up YouTube videos about VRChat, it's like the same 3 people. It's like Fia, someone that does like interviews with random people on VRChat, and then like funny moments from like IMB or Drumsy. So it's like, or it's Filian, and that's the same thing. Like it's just people who use VRChat as a mean to an end, not really as its culture entirely.
No shade to y'all if y'all somehow see this. The content you make be bringing the numbers, so y'all doing something right, and y'all are loved.
And it's inspiring.
It's inspiring.
However, it's only showing a fraction. It's only showing a fraction of what VRChat could be, and like what VRChat really encapsulates in its entirety.
It's like wanting to learn like politics and then listening to only Ben Shapiro. Girl, what is you doing right now? Girl.
Right. I want to learn how the government's run. Anyways, let's listen to Ben Shapiro and Ronald Reagan or whatever. Or Joe Rogan. Candace Owens! Oh, that white bright.
Clown behavior, all of it. No, but I can't wait to like start up a lot of events, because I'm going to start doing my events that I'm going to be hosting myself, and I can't wait to get some other hosts. I'm going to be event host lead, right? So at some point in time, we're going to get some other other host, and I'm going to like, okay, do this. Don't do this, and this. Go, shoo, do your thing. I can't wait to have little Pokemon.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to be a fantastic gotta catch them all, train them all, be the best there ever was. You know what I'm saying? Because my event is going to be the for those who were there for the Sataria Summertime Special, where we went to that one world and we took all those pictures, and then we just like, okay, let's see what the pictures y'all posted, because some of y'all pictures were absolutely beautiful and some of y'all pictures were absolutely hilarious. Clown behavior to the max, and I support it. Yeah, Jasmine was the little turtle from Nemo.
I hope you see this, Jasmine, because I can't stand you. I miss you so much. Come back.
I'll tell her to watch the video. And I'll tell her to watch the video at let's see what time we're at. The video is at 54 minutes. I'll tell her to watch the video. But I want to do something like that, not too world hoppy the first time, depending on, we'll see who comes, who is consistent, because I kind of want to do like mini, because people who world hop, they go like world to world to world to world to world. I don't want to do that. I want to do like, we're gonna have these worlds stored, go ahead and load them up. We're gonna go to these worlds, and take pictures here, then we're done. You know what I'm saying?
It would be kind of cute if during your event we could like theme it, and we can do like specific types of pictures.
We're gonna be like,
it'd be really cute, like
post-apocalyptic type of things. Like these are the worlds we're gonna be going to.
Right.
Like, okay, y'all, beach episode. These are the worlds we're gonna be going to. Or y'all, what's it called? What is this world like? Retro or space? What is it called?
Like Cyberpunk, I guess. Cyberpunk. Something.
What's the other one that Weiss likes a lot? Vaporwave. That's what it's called.
Synthwave. Synthwave, something like that. Yeah.
It's like we have these worlds in mind. Some people have some avatars on the ready. And I can't wait to see what some avatar people have on the Reddit. Some people maybe do some contrast. I just want to see the creativity people come up with when it comes to telling a story, taking pictures, what avatars you have. Because I feel like when you're taking a picture, you have a lot of options, especially when you're given a theme. And I want to see what like people do with that.
I'm also very excited to start doing our roleplay events. That's my biggest thing with like when we get like our existing hosts, and then when we get more hosts to do our roleplay events, like we're like the Cast Cafe. I eventually want to start doing stuff where we go to like worlds that are kind of big, and we can do like kind of like NPC type of stuff where we can have like our hosts act like NPCs in like a quest type of thing. Kind of like a demo version of when we do our movies. That's a whole different thing, by the way.
Kind of like an escape room where we only act like NPCs, but they have an objective. I feel like that came to mind. Like, we act like a certain. We can give hints, but we're only acting like NPCs the entire time. We're giving.
I would imagine it's kind of like you're looking for like a. Well, I mean, it'd be hard to do because we can't like give them like an object to find because we can't like spawn an object. But it could be like we're looking for like a specific person, maybe like something like that. That's kind of like when we had the idea like where we blocked someone. We're trying to figure out who got blocked or whatever.
Yeah, but I feel like here's the thing, right? You know how you can like place certain things down the world. There are some depending on what you have, right? If you can place, let's say like world placements. Let's say I remember those drums I have in that one avatar, and I place those drums down, right? You have to go find this somewhere in the world. Once you find this, we'll probably write something around it or inside one of the drums. Somebody who has really good hand, probably Zai because Zai has like really good small handwriting. Inside the drum does give you another clue, and then there's another thing in the world that has this world placement. These avatars that allow us to place certain things down that allows them to interact with those things. Because if you're familiar with this world, you know where to look. But you're trying to find what looks out of place. Once you find that thing, you interact with it in some way, shape, form. However, we choose to interact with it. Because there are some other things you can like put in the world you can pick up with. It would
be really good. But like the quest players would be so sad. I'm sure we can probably do it in a way where it's like we can give quest players like a specific objective because since they can't see the world placements, we can probably give them like a space to like we could probably divide into two and give them like a space to like the PCs go get the clues and quest players just like understand the clues. You know what I mean? Like they're like they put all the dots together and all the red lines and stuff like that. That could be fun.
Who has quest only avatars. We need someone who has quest only avatars.
That would be funny.
That would be hilarious.
That would be really funny.
I live.
And everyone just sees fallbacks. The idea of quest players getting their leg back is really funny to me. I'm sorry.
I know that's so.
But the idea of like
I love that
a whole lobby of quest players in like one shitty quest out only Abby, and then DC's just like, I can't turn on your avatar. I can't see your avatar. Now you know how it feels. You fuck. Now you know how it feels to be me.
I think what also be very interesting to do is like oh my god, if we can like get somebody, because like there are quest only world, right? Let's say we get somebody to, there are ways to place portals down like indefinitely, and we can get somebody to place a quest only world down and have the questies go in one place and have the PC only people or whatever to go in the other place, have them split up and then reconvene. I feel like that would eat.
That would be cool. That would be kind of cool. Well, I mean, like the idea for like our murder mystery thing, the murder mystery movie we had, would be that like they'd be doing the same thing, but they would have to. They were mostly getting information. It wouldn't be like they're looking for a specific item. They'd just be getting a lot of information to look for a specific person, because it's like it's out of all people in attendance, who's the killer. So you'd be talking to everyone in attendance. Oh, I was here. This is what my name card said, or basically like your Discord DM. This is what my name card said I was. And then be like, well, okay, well then who's actually the murderer then? Because there's 1,000 people here and there's 1,000 faces. So who could it be? So you're talking to people, getting information, then you find out who it is. We could do that, but I'm sure we can probably do it a way where it's like
more efficient.
It's split between the platform. We'll probably split between the platform. If we're gonna use the platform, might as well use it to our best advantage. Make it so that quest players have to team up. Because
oh my god, Quest versus PC. I live for that idea.
Girl, it takes one avatar. It takes one avatar and we're all finished. I hate to break it to you. It takes one really bad avatar. It takes Scoobs existing for us to all die. It takes one Scooby or one furry avatar and we're all dead, actually. I hate to break it to you.
That's not what I meant.
Because PC versus Quest? What do you mean?
I meant like having Quest users and PC users, like let's that magic world with the magic wand, like doing things like that, having them go against each other in certain things, not just like see who's doing better. God,
it takes one avatar. It takes one avatar actually in that world as well, because that was already laggy for us. One avatar with magic particles? Oh girl, no, we're dead. In fact, turn off the headsets. Go to bed. Go to bed. In fact, that sound when it turns on headset. Yeah, that.
No, but there's also a thing like we could like probably host some events and like where we will put like we could just have a team of my going down. Oh, where my hip, girl? It's VRChat team, girl. My hip is not here. We could also just do some type of event in which we would just pair up Quest users versus pair PC users. Maybe it's just like let's say it's like the murder mystery thing. Not that it would be necessarily teams.
You know, it'd be funny.
Oh, God.
When we get more people, we should get like PC elitists and forcibly pair them with a Quest user.
Oh my God! No, that would be so real, because there are some people who really don't understand what what PC elitism is. But let me tell you something right here. Let me tell you something real quick. Royal, I'm gonna ask you at this time because Royal knows what I'm talking about. There's this one person.
Whore. I'm kidding.
Sorry. There's this one person, right? It was a server that me and Royal were in, right? The server got deleted, thank God, because now they don't know what I'm talking about. But we were in the VC, right? We were chatting and whatnot. Obviously, like as some servers do, it was NSFW part, right? And they had like made some like NSFW stuff, but they were a half body. Now, I don't care what you do in VRChat, ERP whatever you want, but I need you to understand something. If you're gonna make content and be a half body, at least turn the sound. You know how like when you open up your little radio menu and it makes a noise when you click on stuff? At least turn the radio noises off. You know what I'm saying? Like, what did you do?
Oh, so it was just going pop, pop, pop,
trying to find something in there. I'm like, girl. And then me and Royal in DM screaming.
So you're telling me they were like that big man? Am I sexy? Do I look good?
And then you hear oh my God.
They're just oh wait. They're just like this. You like that? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, you get it half body. Okay, period.
Get it half body. Oh God.
Get it half
because
body.
What was funny,
you know, we're all in this game together.
When the video was first posted, we was like, "Oh, you made content," because they just joined the VC channel. I was like, "Oh, we made. Oh, what is it?" You know, we were curious. And then Roy was like, out loud, not a half body.
I would. Half body users love you to death because I'm one of you. I'm also a Quest user. Love you to death, but there are some things we can't do well. I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry.
But we don't have the legs yet. We don't have the legs yet. We should stick to what we're good at, everyone. Just like singing's not for everyone. Singing is not for everyone. Right. Making NSW content? You can't even move your legs? What are you gonna do? Suck somebody off?
Girl.
Come on.
And he was a bottom.
Come on, girl. Take me home. Take me home.
Take me home, Mom. Pick me up. Royal, you know who I'm talking about. Royal, you know who I'm talking about. And the way we clowned in DMs, Royal, I might need a screenshot. I'm gonna need a screenshot from my DMs for that. because the way we were like, ain't no way.
Wait, so it's a bottom and a half body
And a furry.
made content.
Girl, the list goes on.
You see how my screen?
Yeah. It was. They must have been new. But the way me and Roy were in the DMs clowning, it was wild.
Personally, I'm gonna just say this. I think if you make VRChat and NSW content, you're kind of lame. You're kind of lame. I think if you make NSW content and VRChat, you're kind of lame. Just putting that out there.
I kind of get it. However, I understand it appealing to a fantasy. You know what I'm saying? Because you have literally like peak male physique and then peak female physique or whatever. And then, because in my head, I see it's just like basic audio porn.
Okay, but I feel like you can do it in a way. Sorry, everyone, by the way, who loves me and knows like I'm not MCW usually. This is why this podcast exists. But like I feel like there's definitely a way to do it where it's actually like
tasteful,
good. Because as I've always said, not everyone can be hot. Not everyone can be dominate. Not everyone can be a dominator. Not everyone can be a bottom. Not everyone can be a brat, because some people can be brats and they're actually just annoying, spiffy. Some people can be tops and they're not actually good at being a top. But what time are we at? I think we're talking forever, everyone.
We haven't talked forever because we are now at a minute, an hour 11.
Girl, cut everything I just said out. I think we've had a very, we've had a very productive conversation. I think this has been amazing to recap everything we've gone through this episode or this past few months. As for the things we talked about, the drama we talked about, I'm sorry to break it to you. You aired our business out. You told people who didn't need to know our business, so we're doing the exact same.
It's not even that.
Now, as for
this, I think it's personally the drama. It was drama. It's our drama to tell because it's our drama. You were involved in it as well, but if I get in a fight with somebody and I talk about the fight, I was involved in that fight. So I can tell people what happened.
There are two sides to every story. So that's what happened.
Like I said,
as for
me personally, I don't
I
hate nobody. Y'all just made a mistake, and y'all were flops. It is what it is.
Honestly, I don't want to be the person to exact judgment, because that's not my place. But like, I think we have enough room to speak about this because this is the consequence of the actions you took.
Yeah,
we faced our consequences because we could have acted differently. We could have worded things differently in some ways, shape, or form, right? I think there's definitely ways we could have prevented this disaster from happening, but you still let it happen. So we now have the space to say we are comfortable with talking about this as it happened to us. But that's neither here or there, everyone. This is the end of this episode. I think we've had a very great episode. I think it's great to recap everything we're doing, to talk about the new events we want to do when it comes to our I can't tell you guys about the movies, but specifically our spotlight, your event, the new host that'll be coming, because we're done with cast. No more cast. Not after Red and Kylo. No more cast. We're doing hosts. So everyone's gonna be under Sataria's team. All of my team, like we're doing for Channel 9, our podcast. We're gonna have a lot of people. I think our next guest was Weiss, we agreed on, I'm pretty sure. So Weiss is one of our great staff members. We're going to have him on. Then it's Button, and we're going to have a lot of people. So we're very excited to start doing this again. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you want the full unedited version of this episode, it's going to be on Patreon sometime in the future. If it's already on Patreon, hi. But if it's not, then we're going to be opening up a Patreon pretty soon for people who want to support our cause. You can see all of our episodes completely unedited on Patreon. It's just $5, so all you gotta do is pay for that, and you can see everything you ever want to see. But as for that has been the first episode back for the VRChat Experience podcast. I'm your host, VideoTv, signing off. Sataria.
I'm your co-host, Sataria. Can't wait to speak with y'all again in the future.
And that is all for tonight. Goodbye.